I made a post with it was what are basically, Eric, your what are four of your most controversial opinions that when you say them in a sizable room, you feel all alone. Everybody gangs up on you. And the first one I think I said was that I think space exploration for the sake of looking for another home for humans, I think it touches towards the sin of Babel in the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
And I give some reasons for that. The second one was I don't believe we have any reason to believe that we've been contacted by aliens. Because, and I said, we can't make it across our own star system. If you've got a community out there that could make it past several star systems, they're smart enough not to have a crash fail when they get here. So
Yeah.
if and when we get visited by aliens, it will be because they are successful.
Yeah.
So I don't believe we have any reason to believe this ever happened. Then the third one was I'm a young Earth creationist, and this I get a lot of people that I love, close friends of mine, who think that I am just absolutely out of my mind, and they're like, it's a shame. Like they've even told me, like literally, it is a shame, it is a disgrace, it is an embarrassment.
It's so wild. That's
Yeah.
so wild that they freak out, I guess, maybe to that degree.
These are people who don't believe God could just bring everything into existence, and they think that they're being presented with science that proves the Earth is a certain age, and it's like, dude, the people telling you this also tell you a man in a dress is a woman. The people telling you this are also telling you to go get another shot in the arm when this pandemic, like these are the people telling you this stuff. Why would you ever believe anything they have to say if everything you know about them is a lie that they've told? Like, I just don't understand why you give any of the scientific community any credibility at that point.
Well, they're trying to incorporate the harmony of faith and reason, right? And so there's a laudable beginning point, but one of the things, the fourth point I brought up was a lot of these, and I'll call them trads, because a lot of the guys who've reached out to me and said that I've ruined my reputation because of this, they'll tell me like that those same trads will believe that all of humanity came from Adam and Eve. And my fourth point, the opinion that was controversial, is if you go into any math, physics, and biology building on any university campus in the US and tell them that you believe that all humanity came from Adam and Eve, you will be equally ridiculed as you ridicule me for young Earth creations. And then they have their 3 or 4 reasons for why they don't think that's the case. And I anticipated that because one of the figures today is Dr. Swami Das, who's written a book, The Genealogical Adam and Eve. And his theory is a very modest one. He doesn't claim to hold it, but he claims it as an option to harmonize with science. So all due respect to Swami Das, I hate to put his name into this, but his theory is absurd. He believes that Adam and Eve were created in the garden, yes, but outside the garden, there were thousands of human beings.
Yeah, that theory, yeah.
And so Adam and Eve had children, and then those children's mated with the human beings outside, and that's how we have the genome complex that we have today.
I think who was it? Was it Paul Thigpen we had on, Rob? Not Paul Thigpen. We had somebody on who told us that theory, and it was.
Oh, I know. It was the Tolkien author.
Yeah, the Tolkien author. He was on with Hitchborn that day, and he was saying something very similar, and I was like, I don't know. It just like my Catholic radar was going off. I was like, I don't like this one at all.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
quick
we're
clarification
getting.
question for Eric: is this author that you mentioned? Is he professing Catholic or do you not know?
The you mean Swami Das?
Swami Das, yes.
No, he's an evangelical.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's an
I
evangelical.
was just wanting to throw in, like, if he was Catholic, and since you mentioned you guys had another guest on, this was before my time, but like the partially what makes little sense to me about at least how evolution is oftentimes explained from when it's being justified by Catholics is that the Catholic Church dogmatically teaches that we all come from two humans. Like that part is
Right.
dogma, and that the rational soul as well is created by God. It's not something created by the parents. That's also dogma. So, I mean, I guess you could try to make an argument of saying, well, man's body evolved through irrational souls up to the point of being endowed with rationality. But again, I think you're still stretching there.
Well, I think Swami Das thinks the humans outside the garden were rational human beings. They had the Imago Dei, which it's a little wild, right? So I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he's an evangelical, right? So he's not trying to harmonize this with like dogma, but so yeah, that's my message to all the trads who have basically sent me like all the nasty messages. If you believe in Adam and Eve as the single progenitor, we're not talking about monogenism of common descent, like the African bottleneck of 10,000 people. We're talking about Adam and Eve as the mother and the father of every human alive today. If you believe that, then you got the same tinfoil hat I do on any university campus in the world.
Yeah, for sure. But if you don't believe that, then you're outside of Catholic doctrine, because
well, I mean, you got Aiken. I think Aiken is now promoting this the polygenism, where the Adam and Eve's children mated perhaps with non-rational beasts.
What?
I don't know.
So like Neanderthal type.
I don't. Let me be fair to Aiken. This was a while ago, so I can't remember exactly what he said. But I know certain Dominican thinkers are promoting this. They're trying to harmonize polygenism with the dogma of the faith. So I've heard these theories. I've heard some theories.
That's wild. But there's so many issues that come to that. I'm not even going to get into it because I know we have to move on. I don't see, Eric, why any of these trads would get mad at you, because in my personal opinion, I think you're kind of like Tim Flanders in the sense of you're so laid back and you're such a nice guy and you're also really well read that anybody who just like gets super pissed off at you, honestly, is just a jerk in my book. I'm just like,
well, I think
like Anthony, it makes sense. Anthony's just gonna go on there and be like, "You're gay," but Eric is just too chill for that.
Well, it's just some of my posts, they're quick. I have to get a point across, and so it does look like I'm throwing the right cross sometimes.
Yeah, well, okay. So Frad kind of scoffs when he hears Young Earth Creation, but I think that's just I think that's the generation that he's my generation, but I was raised in that too. I'm telling you, like we were told growing up, like Rob too, man, his wife is the one who like got him out of that. And his wife was
I was the Catholic, she was the Baptist, and here I am 10 years later,
coming around.
She won the argument.
Well, Eric and I were both Baptist. That's the thing.
My point is for sure, and this is what I always talk to my kids about, is even if you don't get into the science of the young earth stuff, it doesn't matter. What matters is they're trying to give you an alternative to the biblical creation story. That's all that's about. So whether they're right about a few things or right about one thing, it doesn't matter. What you need to know is God gave us a creation story. So why focus on another one? And there's a reason God gave us that creation story. It's because he also gave us that desire to want to know where we came from. And essentially, we come from him. So he gives you the story that shows that we come from him.